Welcome back. So this is the step where we're going to apply wax for the first time. I moved the camera to the opposite side, so one, I put my candle, I'm right-handed so it's here, and I didn't want to be reaching over safety. I try to keep everything close where I don't have to reach over something to get to it. And then also I thought maybe because I'm right-handed you'll be able to see me do the wax part a little easier. So the first step that I'm going to do is everything I want to be white, I'm going to put wax on it. And that is pretty much all the lines that we just drew on our egg. So I am going to put the wax on this egg. It does have lines on it. You can't see it because it's very light, but trust me, they are there. I can see them. And what I'm doing now, you can't really see it, but I'm heating up my kistka. The kistka is the writing tool. I'm heating it up in a candle, and I'm going to put some wax in it. That's what I'm doing here. Oops, there we go. This is beeswax. It's black because of the candle, and now I just dripped it all over my workspace. This is a little awkward for how I normally do this, but so I'm going to heat it up again since I put the wax in there. And then very important, I'm going to take a tissue and I'm going to wipe it off, because when you put the wax in it, it also gets on the outside of the kistka, and then it could get on your egg in a spot where you don't want. And when that happens, it becomes a beautiful part of your design. So now I'm going to do a few little test lines. Make sure it's not too hot. All right. So basically, I'm going to put wax on all the lines that I have just drawn. So I've heated my kistka, and I'm ready to go. I tend to draw away from me, looking at the point where I want to go. And if my pencil lines aren't exactly straight, that's okay. They're not going to show up at the end anyway. What will show up is where I put the wax. So I'm putting the wax. I tend to put the wax on the egg in the same order that I drew the lines. So I'm putting the wax on a line that goes all the way around the egg, like so. So I have the wax that goes all the way around the egg. And now I'll do this line. The kistka, this is a brass funnel on here. So it gets hot. Beeswax melts at about 200 degrees. But it does cool down, so I have to heat it up periodically. And then once it gets hot, I don't have to heat it up as much. And then the idea of pisanki is that as you're putting the wax on, you're praying. So you can pray, if you're making the egg for someone, you pray for that person in particular. You can pray for whatever's on your heart. Sometimes you just listen. Let God speak to you. All right. So I have drawn the first two lines I drew with the pencil that go all the way around the egg. I'm going to continue putting the wax on the egg, and then I will put it in the yellow dye. Before I put it in the yellow dye, I will plug up this hole on the bottom, because if I don't do that, the dye will get inside the egg and I will have a huge mess. And basically you have to stop and let the egg dry for a couple days before you go forward. So however you plug your egg, if you use a little bit of wax to plug it, or if you use one of the silicone plugs, you do want to make sure that it is completely sealed so that you don't get wax inside of there. So I'm going to continue putting the wax lines on the egg. The next one, the next pencil line I drew was the equator, so there I'm drawing that line now. So I'll continue doing that, and then I will plug it and put it in the yellow dye, and then I'll be back.